With how Parliament's last sitting ended, one would have expected a heated session today, Tuesday, here in Parliament. But in an interesting turn of events, a meeting that was scheduled to start at 11 commenced later in the day at about 4 p.m. As at 11 a.m., there were barely any people around to commence the session. And from our checks around, you'd notice a number of key political leaders around, and there's been a lot of meetings going on. Here are excerpts of the engagements in Parliament.
To move that you, the Honourable Speaker, properly propose for determination the question on the motion moved by the Minister of Finance on behalf of His Excellency the President on Wednesday, November 17, 2021, in respect of the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2022. Mr. Speaker, it is clear, as I've already said, that the number that was invoked, the article that was invoked, was insufficient to cover the determination of the question that was proposed for the support or rejection of the budget. And so, Mr. Speaker, I invite you to uphold the motion and indeed, by inference, set aside the impropriety, because, as I've argued, what happened that day is a nullity because it does not meet the test established under Article 104(1). So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
So before I take any decision, I want to confirm that I have a majority of members of Parliament in the chamber. Honourable members, our clerks at tables are saying it's not all ministers who are non-MPs they know. So, in order to avoid a situation where a non-member of Parliament may be counted, may I please request the non-MP ministers to move to the gallery. But to the gallery, so that we are not confused with the exception of the finance minister where he's sitting, you can't miss him. Honourable members, for the avoidance of doubt, let me read out the constitutional requirements so that there's no confusion as to who can vote, what numbers are required to take a decision. Article 104(1). Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting. The vote of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present. What it means is that before you take a decision, there must be at least a majority of all members present. With me, we have 138 members. That's a majority. It doesn't mean that all the 138 must vote yes or no. A majority of this 138, their decision will carry the day. So, I'll go ahead and put the question on the motion proposed before us. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Order. The consequence, though, of the unfortunate error is that the putting of the question of the budget statement and the question on the budget statement and the economic policy was done in violation of Article 104(1) of the 1992 Constitution, and therefore void and inconsequential, as the record shows 137 members were in the chamber. Subsequently, the vote and declaration that the budget statement was rejected are also hereby declared to be of no effect. Now that we have the numbers, sufficient numbers to take a decision in the chamber, I'll put the question again. But before that, I'll offer the opportunity to the finance minister, if he so wish, to make his concluding remarks. If he so wish to make his concluding remarks, as is the practice.
The big issue in the House is the elephant in the room, which is the e-levy. Mr. Speaker, the e-levy enables us to tackle the three issues of debt sustainability, of infrastructure, and most importantly, of our employment issues. We have 11 million people, youth, and we have in this budget introduced the largest ever youth program of 10 billion Ghana cedis to ensure that the entrepreneurial nation that we seek will be achieved, and the issue of indecency of jobs and dignity of our youth working will be a thing of the past, as we speak a common language to move on. But Mr. Speaker, the issue of living standards is a problem that concerns us more than any other person. And we have, therefore, considered the issue of the 1.75% e-levy, in which, Mr. Speaker, we are in discussions with the telcos to scale back, to moderate their impact, so that in the end, the impact on the citizenry would be manageable.
Now, members, the motion that was moved by the Honourable Minister and have been debated is now ready for a decision to be taken. We have already determined that the appropriate numbers are in the chamber, and therefore the House stands ready to take a decision. Now I'll put the question. I'll put the question. All in favor of the House adopting the resolution moved by the Honourable Minister for Finance, say aye. Aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion moved. The House has adopted the financial. The House has accordingly approved the budget statement for the ensuing year ending 31st December 2022.